One monk carried water every day. 2 monks argued over who should fetch it. But when 3 monks lived together, they all went thirsty. What happened? This story sounds simple, but the message it holds can shift the way we see teamwork, responsibility, and life itself. Long ago, in the mountains of ancient China, there was a peaceful monastery. It stood tall above the clouds, surrounded by nature, far from the noise of the world. In this temple lived a monk. He had no name that anyone remembered, just a quiet man in a simple robe. He woke early every morning, meditated, and carried 2 buckets down the mountain to fetch water from the river. It was hard work, but he never complained. He needed the water for drinking, cooking, and cleaning. Alone, he did everything himself. One day, another monk came to stay at the temple. Like the first, he had left the world behind in search of peace. At first, everything was calm. But then came the question, who would go fetch the water now? The first monk had done it alone for so long, but now there were 2. They tried to share the task, but problems started. One would say, "I carried it yesterday, it's your turn today." The other replied, "But I cooked and cleaned." Isn't that enough? They started keeping track, measuring, comparing. The peaceful temple began to feel tense. In the end, they agreed to go together. They tied a pole across their shoulders, balancing the buckets between them. It wasn't ideal, but it worked. The task was done, but joy was missing. Sometime later, a 3rd monk arrived. He was cheerful and curious, eager to learn and live in peace. But with him came a new problem. Who should fetch the water now? The first 2 monks thought, "There's 3 of us now. Surely someone else will do it." The 3rd monk thought, "They've been here longer. Maybe it's their job." And so, for days. No one fetched water. The buckets stayed empty. The kitchen was quiet. The temple, once full of quiet discipline, now echoed with thirst and silence. It wasn't that they were lazy. Each monk still meditated, prayed, and kept to their personal practice. But when it came to the shared need, carrying water, no one took the lead. Then one night, disaster struck. A rat knocked over a candle in the temple. Flames caught on a curtain, and within seconds, fire spread across the wooden floor. The 3 monks panicked. But as smoke rose and heat surrounded them, something snapped. They forgot about whose job it was. They forgot who did more yesterday. They ran together, formed a line, and passed buckets from the river to the flames. Splash after splash, breath after breath, they worked as one. Finally, the fire died. The temple was damaged but still standing. And more importantly, the 3 monks looked at each other with new eyes, not as individuals competing for fairness, but as brothers sharing a purpose. The next morning, no one said a word about the water. The first monk picked up the buckets. The second helped him balance the pole. The third ran ahead to clear the path. From that day on, they didn't argue about turns. They didn't count how many times someone went. They just worked together. If one was sick, the others covered. If someone was tired, they carried more. The temple was peaceful again, not because there were no problems, but because they faced them as one. They finally understood. When we think only of ourselves, even small tasks become heavy. But when we work as one, even heavy tasks feel light. From this story of the 3 monks, we've learned a timeless lesson. Selfishness creates struggle. Blame creates distance. But unity creates strength. Whether it's in families, teams, or friendships, when we focus only on fairness or what's mine, we divide. But when we focus on the shared goal, we grow stronger together. You don't have to do it all. You just have to do your part with heart. If this story inspired you, like this video and subscribe to our channel for more motivational stories that make you think, feel, and grow. And remember, when we rise together, we rise higher.